And out of all the paintings and sculptures we have, we know nearly every artist that we collect, and that's the reason we buy them. They're great pieces, there's no doubt. I have one of yours, in fact. And these are people we know, people we like, and there's a feeling of something happens there. Look at Christie's work on the wall and say, we know Christie, and she's a great painter, good person. And I think that going to shows and meeting people, talking to them, opens that bridge right there, better than sending a work to a show and somebody possibly walking in and buying it that you don't know or they don't know you. That's been my personal experience, the way I've done it there. I've never done a lot of shows through my life because my work's been very small output. But I find that going to those shows, I enjoy them. I love to meet people and talk to them about art. And I also love to see the art. And that's always a shot in the arm to me to go see good art. Every year we go to the Quest, I see the best art in the country there. I go away uplifted by trying to be a better artist, produce better work, come back next year to see the same artist. We've become friends over the years. And as an artist, to me, that's one of my benefits of becoming doing shows as well as commissions. And the third part of that would be just sending a painting to one of my galleries and never showing up out there and then selling it. If it sells, that's great. It helps pay the bills and it puts food on the table. But that's not the same when I get out of it when I do a show and meet the folks that buy my art.
Anybody else?
I think, well, I started out in galleries and doing solo shows where I would go to the show and people would come in and meet me, but on a very small one-to-one sort of scale. And then a lot of these museum shows have happened more recently, and you get to meet a lot more people and you're one of a group of artists, so the artist gets that input as well as meeting the collectors. But I think once someone has met you and likes your work and has bought something, then they'll follow you around, and you know, if they see you're going to be in a show somewhere that they'd like to go, they'll make the effort to go there to see you again and buy your work. So I think once you've built that reputation and that contact with someone, then they'll follow you if they're interested.
I did two things, one really correctly and one really poorly. The correct part was I jumped at every opportunity to be in magazines and publications, books, book covers, anything printed made a huge difference for me. That carried a lot of weight in the 80s and 90s and early parts of this century. I'm not so sure the printed media is as powerful as it was, but it was for me initially. What I did really poorly follows from very early meeting I had with a key person in the art business in Phoenix, and I asked him as a young painter, what do I need to do to make it big? I wanted to make it big, like all young artists. He said, you have to go to parties. And I could not believe what I heard. Wait a minute, what about the quality of the work? Well, that's really good, but you have to go to parties. Well, I didn't believe that. I didn't go to parties. I stayed in my studio for 30 years and worked very, very hard to try to make my work the best it could be. There are artists that I knew from my early years, at the same time, same age, starting out like me, who went to parties. And they became very, very successful. Not that I'm not, it's just that they made a heck of a lot of money. Now that's not why I was in it. And I think that's the admonition I want to put out to young artists. If you're doing it for the money, please try another profession, because you're likely to be creating junk. You'll be a fraud. You won't be an authentic artist. So be true to yourself. As David said, be true to yourself.